I've been lying for writing, I won't say, it's the end of the truth. I've been lying for life. My name is Jamorra DuBose Morris, and I am the writer and director of the Killer Bois play. I was inspired to write the Killer Bois play through God's grace, and then also because I was very frustrated with some previous experiences in my life, from trauma, from high school, just kind of doing theater for a few years and also feeling a little bit disrespected by a lot of my actors, and also just like by the process. And I was writing this play before I used to go to bed and be like, E-mix, and then, it was very much like on a whim as a journal more per se experience. And it allowed me to kind of just say things that were on my mind in a way that didn't feel like, dear diary, I'm sad. And more I wrote it, God showed me that he wanted it to be a production, and I went forth with making it a play. I have been writing since I was a child, but I've been doing professional theater since I was 17 years old. I did my first play at my high school independently called Visions 2016. I then did a play right after at the Davenport Theater called Visions 2017, and the year would continue. And I would feel so great writing these stories and having all of these different actors. People would tell me, you're crazy, you have 200 actors in your play. How is that gonna work? I'm like, well, we're gonna figure it out through God's grace. And I truly enjoy telling stories and telling people stories that I've seen throughout my life. It's a very scary question for me because I have a favorite character of Killer Bois every 2 weeks. But I would say my favorite two characters are based on parts of my life. I would say it's Morgan and E-mix. Morgan is the most like me in life. I feel like sometimes in life we're always aiming to be a butterfly and we don't embrace our caterpillar season. And in the story you'll get that chance to see that she is really like crawling on her hind legs to become this basically dream girl that people are always telling her she's supposed to become. And I've always been through those experiences of becoming a woman, of becoming the person I'm supposed to be, and then kind of feeling frustrated on the journey because I'm like, well, why am I not embracing that? And E-mix, he says the things on my mind that I don't say out loud. He understands the parts of me that maybe shouldn't be there, but I also am aware that they exist, and he's my vulnerability. And I wanted to always have those discussions because a lot of my, male friends always vent to me about their angers, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a lot to take on. So I would always kind of put those into my stories, talking to my dad, my brother, my friends, and those are why Morgan and E-mix are my favorite characters. It's very important to come see the Killer Bois play because Black men in society are not being seen and represented the way they should be. And the dialogue about artistic straight Black men, their creativity, their trauma, their trials has been put to the back burner. And in a time like the 90s, we had more films about the realities of Black men and what they went through without people sheltering them and saying, well, remember this group, and remember this group, and remember their frustrations, and remember their frustrations. So then we never go back to what Black men are going through. And Killer Bois doesn't just even center the Black male experience, it centers this experience of being bullied itself because bullies bully others. And you'll see that with a lot of the different characters that they're going through so much. And they're going through so much in a community as New York where you're supposed to always have a smile and be ready for the camera and be ready to network and be ready to be your best at all times. And that in itself can be a horror. Being always perfect and always being asked, what are you doing instead of how are you doing, is a scary experience. And that's what the Killer Bois is basically showing to people and allowing them to be able to discuss without people telling you, let's wrap it up. That's the end of the scene. A lot of the times the story that I want to even kind of have on stage are things that are very close to me. Home health care, people of color, mental health, trauma, single Black women, just things that are not really highlighted or like commercialized all the time. Things that I see in my natural day life without it being like, let's get to the topics that we see and glamorize on television or on theater. My favorite scene deals with what the entire story is about. I'll just say that it involves DMs, deep dirt, depression, and danger. All the D's. And I would say that it involves their anger, the main characters, E-mix, Joey, and Lenz, their anger and their frustration, but also this brotherhood. And in this one scene, you feel like you could have been watching a whole different story of just friendship and joy. And then you were reminded that you are in a horror play, a scene after. So I feel like that's a beautiful scene to watch, but also it reminds us as the audience, how can we prevent this to becoming what we're actually watching? In all honesty, the cast makes me truly excited because I actually believe in all of them and think that they're very, very talented and that the community is going to relate to them. All of the people that were casted for this show represent what people we truly see in society are. No one is cookie cutter, no one is perfect, and I feel like they really represent what people are going through today. And a lot of them have told me that they kind of understand who these characters are in their personal lives. And they connect to them and they actually have grown because of these experiences. So having them go through that and those beautiful one-on-one experiences with their own characters, imagine what the audience is gonna go through. They're gonna be like, wow, I've never seen somebody represent me in my personal life to this extent, because there's an experience where we're all connecting. So that's why I'm super excited to have this cast. I'm blessed Jesus chose them. So anything that Jesus chooses, I'm appreciative of, and we're going on this journey together, through and through. Everyone needs to come out and see the Killer Bois play on October 4th at 9 p.m. at the Soho Playhouse. We'll be running from October 4th through October 28th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 9 p.m. We're gonna have drinks, intermissions, performances, and you're really gonna feel like, wow, why'd they get me together so quickly? This is just gonna be such an enjoyable experience for you and your friends. You're gonna feel so immersed into our world as we take you on this wild ride that is the Killer Bois. Come see Greg Banks, Leah Janae, Abby Jasmine. We're gonna have some special guest stars, and just keep looking forward to what the Killer Bois are bringing you.